Hello, my friends. I just realized a few minutes ago that it's the end of June and I haven't said a word about Gay Pride Month. And well, perhaps because this was my area of concentration during 4 years, and deep inside, I think I have made my contribution towards the concept of equality among humanity, among all people. Uh, there is something really interesting that right here in Panama City. Something happened during these past few days. Uh, there's this human, or the building that for the Organization of Human Rights and uh, well, human rights in general, uh, was not really vandalized per se, but it would be equivalent to that. The LGTB community of Panama had set up posters and banners and a few multicolored flags to commemorate the month. And apparently, a group of people from Catholic organization here in Panama tore everything down, and I think that was something that was really bad. It looks bad on our country. It looks bad on our Catholic citizens. Not all of them are discriminatory against against the LGTB community, but there's a strong group, and I always ask myself, how is it possible that a supposedly religious group turns against their own beliefs of decency, of love towards your community, your friends, in spite of gender and all that. And there's a very important scientist here in Panama, Dr. Xavier Science Lawrence, that he's a physician. He says that he is an atheist, but he is so congruent with his beliefs and his feelings and his love for people. He respects all communities. And then I could ask myself the same question, but in reverse. How could someone who is an atheist be so good? Well, that's our humanity. But anyway, I watched a documentary not long ago where it was explained that a very important scientist who was the creator of the Big Bang Theory, of which I only knew the TV show. I really didn't know details about it. I had never bothered to really go and find out the details. But in the documentary, they really went into details, and it was fascinating. But for me, the most fascinating part was to discover that Dr. George Henri Joseph Edouard Lemaitre, Dr. George Lemaitre, who was a Belgian Catholic mathematician, astronomer, professor of physics of the Catholic University of Louvain, and in addition to all that, he was a priest. Now you could ask yourself, yeah, geez, how can a priest be, you know, how can a priest come up with such a hypothesis that the beginning of the beginning was the product of a Big Bang and not the product of a God's work? Well, Dr. Lemaitre, who died in 1966, had been around in the 20th century long enough to really talk about what he thought. And he said that there really was no contradiction between being a scientist and being a priest. That he would advise anyone under these conditions, so if such person is a priest, to act as a scientist, and if the person is a scientist, to act as a priest. Okay, I'll leave that conclusion or that recommendation to you, because it really says a lot. It really, really says a lot. And I think that the core is that science and religion at the core have the same mystique. They both search for the truth, but in different ways. Okay, I myself went to Catholic school in grade school and primary school and high school, and it was a Jesuit school, and there I learned, or I should say that I interpreted, that I was taught that I shouldn't believe everything that was told. Coming from priest or coming from whatever. You know, think about it, research about it, and then come to a conclusion. That's what I believe. And this concept of the duality of priesthood or religion and science makes a lot of sense to me. It does. Well, my phone is ringing there. I'm not going to answer it right now. So I would really recommend, that my followers and those that add on to perhaps comment on some of these things. This is food for thought. And okay, so it was the LGTB Pride Commemoration Month. Their work is very, very tough. It's very tough. I participated a lot during the AIDS crisis. It was very difficult, and it required a lot of stamina, and it required a deep belief in human being And this is much different than what we're going through right now with COVID. So let's think about all this and see if we can save the earth, because the way things are going, we're screwing up this whole society, this whole planet, little by little. That in the end, I think that Darwin may end up being right. Who is going to survive? The fittest. But who are the fittest? Who will be the fittest? Not necessarily the physically fit, no. The ones that get the most food, or the best knowledge, the best social contacts, those will survive. And if we don't love our brethren, then they won't belong to this group. And perhaps even some of us that belong to a little bit fitter, perhaps by chance, will not make it either. See you then. Bye-bye.